Well, this is Pastor Mark, and I'm coming to you today with a special announcement concerning what's going on here in California regarding the reopening of churches. As you know, our president said that churches should be considered essential, and that put a whole lot of things into motion. And we are now considered essential. And like many other essential businesses and organizations, there are certain regulations that we now fall under if we are to be reopening as one that is essential. And some of those have to do with how many people we can have in the sanctuary. We are limited to 25% of our capacity. There's other regulations concerning face coverings and social distancing and even screening for temperature and all kinds of regulation. There's a 13-page report that came out that we've been going over. Well, the bottom line is we have decided to schedule a reopening, a target date of reopening for the weekend of June 13 and 14. Now, I know that many would hope, well, why couldn't we do it sooner? There's many things that we need to get in place. We need to alert the people. There are many physical things we needed to take care of here to meet and be in compliance with all that is going to be required of our reopening. But I'm excited we get to reopen. I'm excited now. There's a date and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Of course, we need to understand that everything can change in a moment, as it already has. But these are our plans based on the information we have. The elders have discussed this. I've discussed this with pastoral staff, and we have come to this, that on the weekend of June 13th, a Saturday, and 14th, we will reopen under the guidelines that are given to us by the state. And we'll be giving you more details in the days ahead about what those guidelines are and how we will do our best to comply with that. Now, what do we do until then? Well, I want you to continue doing most of what you're already doing, and we'll add a couple things, but continue to go online. A lot of time and energy has been spent by people to be able to provide for you nourishment in the Word and online services of worship and preaching. And we have daily things we want you to be tuning into, Promise and a Prayer. And we have bi-weekly things like an honest discussion of. There's podcasts you can watch. There's our weekly Praying Through the Psalms to help your devotional life. And of course, both messages from Pastor Matthew and myself are available every week. So we're trying to provide these things for you spiritually. And yet I know we're anxious to get back together. Well, these things will continue, of course. The other thing I want to say is this coming Sunday night, May 31st, we will be having a parking lot drive-through service where you can come into the parking lot. We'll have worship and praise going, and there'll be prayer over the speakers. We will be practicing social distancing. We are asking you to bring a face cover. We will be bringing canned goods to give to the poor. But this will be a great time to be able to be in the same parking lot and singing and worshiping, and yet trying to be compliant as well. There's a little more latitude given to us by the state if we're outside. And so this Sunday night at 7 p.m. Also on June the 4th, we can resume our men's Bible study, and it will be in the sanctuary at 7 a.m. We will have to do the social distancing, and we'll be giving you more details on that, but we will be able to resume that. So basically what we're saying is we're going to keep all the video online things going. We want to continue to hear from you by way of text and email and phone call, how you're doing, how we can be praying for you or serving you. And we also will be adding the Sunday night parking lot and June 4th, the Bible study. So there's good things coming, even though we're still restricted. And why are we doing it this way? I just want to conclude this announcement by giving you two Bible passages that we are trying to fulfill. Number one is found in Romans chapter 14, where Paul says, none of us lives to himself and none dies to himself. In other words, we're all connected somehow. He talks about one observing one day as to another. He talks about things like meat sacrificed to idols in Corinthians as well as Romans. And he basically says this, for he who serves Christ in these things is acceptable to God and approved by men. Therefore, let us pursue the things which make for peace and the things by which one may edify another. There's such a controversy over things like, should we have to wear a face covering? On one extreme, there are those that say, we don't need to do that anymore. On other extreme, there are those that are very cautious. Well, we want to act in love for each other. We want to act in respect and consideration. There are many who are still concerned and have a legitimate right to be concerned. There are others who are not as concerned, but we want to be respectful. And so we will be seeking this principle. And then, of course, Romans chapter 13, read it. It talks about being subject to the powers, the governmental powers, that God even works through governmental powers. Even when you don't agree with their policies, we must do our best to love our brothers, to not cause offense, to seek that which is for peace and edification, and at the same time be in subjection to the governmental authorities as best as we can. And so read chapter 13 and 14 of Romans. These are the principles that we're trying to allow to guide us. In summary, we thank you for your patience, for your love, and for your ongoing care one for another. And we're looking forward to a reopening on June 13th and 14th. Stay tuned for more details. God bless you as we will overcome and are overcoming together.